Hey buckaroos! Hey guys! Hey guys, so today I did a full face product review of Wet n Wild products. Most of them are fairly new releases. Wet n Wild in the last like 2 years has really revamped their brand. When I was younger, like in middle school, I just remember that was like my go-to brand because it was wicked cheap. I remember trying one of their foundations. Like it was literally a foundation stick like back before foundation sticks were like a thing. I was in middle school, I think. Broke me out in hives and I never touched Wet n Wild again, aside from their like 99-cent lipsticks. In the last few years, Wet n Wild has really revamped their shit, and it's on point, most of it. I love their liquid lipsticks. Their catsuit liquid lipsticks are on point. They just came out with a whole bunch of new colors, metallics and some bold colors. I will say, I do a metallic lip for this look, and then I'm not really a huge fan of metallic liquid lipsticks or metallic lips in general. I like the metallic as like an undershift. So I did put this Milani lipstick over it just because it looked kind of strange, I think, or I just didn't really like the metallic liquid lipstick. That's a tongue twister. Liquid lipstick. Everything else is all Wet n Wild on my face. So if you want to see how I achieve this look, keep watching, and then at the end, I'll tell you some thoughts. Like, we're gonna come back to me, current me right now at like 9:30, and I'll tell you all about what I thought. Okay. So you'll see me scary, no makeup, and then you'll see me again looking like this. Okay, bye. Just got out of the shower. That's why I still kind of look like a wet zombie. My hair is wet. I have the rings around my eyes. We're gonna work through it because I don't got time to like fucking mess with it because I gotta meet someone at 6:30. So really quick before I jump into this Wet n Wild face review, some of these products I have used before, like the foundation. Anyway, what I want to talk to you really quick is the new Wet n Wild eyeshadows before I dive into everything because I'll probably forget because I'm in a rush. The Wet n Wild eyeshadows, like their 6-8 count ones, used to look like this. This one is Poster Child, which is like a colorful one, and this one is Comfort Zone. So this eyeshadow palette I really don't think has changed since like 2002, because I remember seeing it like this in high school. They're almost all shimmers. In high school I used to live for these two colors right here. I do this one everywhere and then that one in the crease. As you can see, this one is now my favorite. Let me show you their new formulas and their new palettes. This is the new one. My one complaint with the old Comfort Zone palette is that it didn't have any mattes, no transitions, and it's Wet n Wild, so it looked a little tacky. It was usually $5, and their new ones I think are retailing now for $6. This is the new Wet n Wild Comfort palette. It has 2 transitions on the top, and then it still has some of our favorites. Like this green has a new like eye lift. It's a little bit darker, and then this color is still back, that like bluish gray kind of brown shifting one. I do like how this is not actually like a black color, it's like a darkened green. It's I think the same color as before, just maybe a little bit greener. And this is kind of the reddish tone from before. And then the 2 sparkly ones that I like lived for in high school have kind of cooled down a little bit and got a little bit of a facelift. So let's compare them side by side. So this is the old and the new next to each other. Not really in focus, but you can see there's a difference. They're very similar. There's the difference of the transition. So I'm gonna use the new one. When I saw this in the store, I thought this very much resembled the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. It looks really good. If you want to see a review of this palette versus the Anastasia Beverly Hills, please comment down below an ant emoji. That's like my favorite emoji. So comment the ant emoji down below if you want to see me compare this to the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. Okay, and I'm gonna do my face because I'm supposed to meet someone at 6:30 and it's 6 o'clock right now, so I need to haul ass. So to start, I'm gonna use this Photo Focus Matte Primer. This is a new product from Wet n Wild. It is labeled as cruelty-free and vegan, so that's pretty fucking cool. And I'm gonna slap this all over my face. Oh my god, see, this happens sometimes. I think it's because of the Denver elevation, and like these products probably came on a plane before they got here. They like blow up. Like this is super bloated, and then they like explode. So I got way more primer than I really need. So, wow, I really like the feel of this. It doesn't feel like silicone-y at all. It feels very smooth and almost like just a moisturizer. It feels like maybe a little tacky, but nothing crazy, but it's just gliding over my skin so nicely. I'm gonna read, if I can, ingredients. So there is glycerol in it, so that does give it like the tacky feeling. Not tested on animals, blah, blah, blah. It says lightweight formula refines the appearance of pores, smooth skin for even application of makeup. It's supposed to be a matte finish. Looking at my face right now, I think it looks pretty matte. My face is breaking out, as you can tell again. Wet n Wild Photo Finish Foundation. This is in the color Classic Ivory. Just kidding. This is in the color Nude Ivory. A lot of people have said that this foundation has like a chemical smell, which it kind of does. It smells like paint. I don't mind it. The one thing I will say is you can see how the lid of it is like all goopy and crusty. It's because this is just a stick that you probably shouldn't wipe on your face because of bacteria, but I'm the only one using it. I wish it had a pump. A lot of people didn't like this foundation when it first came out. I think mostly because of the smell. I personally really like this foundation. I think it's good quality for the price. I'm just going to take my Morphe M439 brush and buff that into my face. Show you how decently well it covers up all the shit on my face. And like I said, I just got out of the shower, so I have these like black circles under my eyes because it's my old mascara. Honestly, I just couldn't be bothered. A bitch couldn't be bothered. I need a little bit more coverage here and then on this side of my cheek, so I'm just going to go through with another little swipety swipe. Really quick, just some critiques I have with this Wet n Wild Photo Finish foundation. The smell personally doesn't bother me so much. What bothers me more is that when you're using a brush like this, my brush, as you can tell, not super clean. It's kind of like caked in there from other stuff I've used. When I'm blending out my makeup, sometimes you can see like the exact outline of the brush on your face, which is kind of annoying. I don't really give a shit, so I could clean my brush or I could not. So I just want to show how it's covered up my acne. I think it has pretty good coverage. I would say it's medium coverage. I don't want to build it more than 2 layers. I think it would look cakey. I really like how this foundation applies. It works fine with a brush or with a sponge. This is the Wet n Wild Cover All Concealer. It's in the color Fair. And I'm just going to put that under my eyes. I will say this concealer is a little bit thicker than I thought it would be, and it's not as fair as I thought it would be. But that's okay. And then we're going to blend this in with my fancy ass finger. Get rid of those under eye vampire eyes, Because, one cannot be bothered actually taking their old mascara off, right? Am I right, ladies? That's what concealer is for, right? I like this concealer because even though it is fair, it's not super pale. I mean, I kind of wish they had one color lighter. It is pretty thick and you gotta move kind of quickly because it seems to dry pretty fast. Like this eye under here is kind of getting a little difficult for me to completely blend out. It feels tacky already. It could be the concealer is old too. I've had it a while and I don't know why I don't regularly use it. Probably just because it fell to the bottom of my concealer section of my makeup drawer. The applicator kind of sucks. Like I'm putting it in the tube and I have to kind of like wiggle it around to get product. So the foundation has dried and I'm putting the concealer on it, and can you see it's like taking some of the foundation off, so I have to be like really careful. So that could be one of two things. That could be because the concealer is drying so quickly. I'm gonna guess it's more because of the concealer, because under my eyes is pretty tacky, like it's dried up. So I don't know if you can tell. I'm gonna do like a little squint test. You can see a little bit of creasing here under my eyes. Nothing crazy. I am gonna set that with my RCMA powder really quick just to prevent it from creasing. And this is just my old ass beauty blender that I cut in half. And if you want to see the video of what's inside your beauty blender, leave it down below, girl, because I don't want to be looking like some old ass woman. And then I'm going to take a little bit and put it on my smile lines here and here, just because that's where I wrinkle the most, other than this big ass wrinkle across my forehead. I got people to see and food to eat, priorities 101. This is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer. This is in the color Ticket to Brazil. It is their lightest bronzer color, and I'm just going to use this like whatever the fuck brush. It's kind of like a big ass brush, and I'm just going to sweep this on my cheeks. This is a warmer kind of shimmery bronzer, so I like to use it more in the spring and summer. Oh my god, on camera that's showing super yellow. So in the spring and summer I do like to use this more just because I feel like it's more appropriate, where in the winter I like to use more of an ashy colored one. So right here my foundation is like separating and getting cakey looking, so that probably tells me that the foundation is either setting, but I normally don't have that issue with this foundation where I take a brush over and it gets cakey, so that would tell me it was the concealer that dried really fast. And I don't really like the way this bronzer is looking right now. On camera it looks really yellow, and in real life it's probably a little too warm, so I'm going to go in with my Chiate London. It's just a little sample bronzer. It's a little bit cooler tone. I'm going to go with the Pearlescent Pink, and I'm just going to use this little Luxie brush and apply. I really like the Wet n Wild blushes. I don't know what they did to reformulate them, but they're no longer like shitty little kids makeup, like Wet n Wild back in the day. I remember using it when I was in middle school, and it was very much like a teeny bopper brand kind of thing, but I really like whatever Wet n Wild did to reformulate their shit to like make themselves a brand for adults. And I know this looks super intense on my camera right now, and I'll fix it, don't worry. I know I look like a fucking clown, don't worry. It's okay. My light is also on so fucking bright right now that it's blinding, and that contributes to it too. So I'm just gonna take a pressed powder first and go over it to mute everything a little bit. This is in the color Warm Light. One thing I will say about this powder is, as you can see, mine is like hit pan majorly, but it kind of broke at one point. I can't remember if I dropped it a little bit, and then after I dropped it and it started breaking, it just like really didn't stop breaking, or if it just kind of broke on its own and then was like a mess after that. Fragile in a way, so I would just be careful and maybe not travel with this powder. Why does my voice always crack? Okay, so it's muted down a bit. Run this down my neck. Photo Finish powder is really affordable. I think it's $5. I do like it a lot. I think it adds a good amount of color, but not too much. And I like the way it wears throughout the day. The other powder I really like by Wet n Wild is the Coverall powder. As you can see, I've hit pan on this one as well. This one I know I dropped and then it started breaking, but since it stopped breaking, it's been okay. But once in a while, some little pieces break off. But this is really good too. This is a medium-high coverage powder, where the other one you can make it a lighter coverage powder. So this is the new Comfort Zone. I think I'm going to use the upper color as my transition and just see how that goes. The warmer one seems really nice, but I'm trying to not use that color because I just don't feel like having like a reddish looking eye. So I put a good amount on my brush, and then I just start kind of in like a higher upper crease area and I blend that out. These are blending really nicely and they have pigmentation to them. Wet n Wild is kind of like on the lower end of drugstore, tend to be kind of chalky and like a mess. They're hard to blend, or they're just like no pigmentation whatsoever. So this is like pretty good pigmentation. I think it's very workable. I think it's also buildable, so that's nice. You probably can't tell, it is kicking up a little bit of powder, but nothing compared to like my Kat Von D or my Anastasia Beverly Hills. Dear God, that kicks up a lot of fucking powder. I'm gonna take this pointed brush that's kind of dirty, and I'm gonna go in with this color again, the transition, and I actually will dip into the reddish transition too, and just go in my crease with that just to kind of make it a little bit browner and add some drama to it. Wow, I really like that. Adding just a little bit of that red looks really nice. I think they did a good job of pairing good transition colors with the colors in the palette, and these are usually the kind of transition colors I would use with this palette, the original one anyway, so I think they did really good with that. I like that they gave you two options rather than just one. It makes it very versatile. People who want more of a warmer look can do that, or people who prefer something more traditional can use the browner one too. So as you can see, these are working really well for me, and it's very quick to kind of blend them out. There's no like weird kind of like shitty coloration to them, you know, where like be like, yo girl, what the fuck happened there? And I'm just taking the brown again over it all just to kind of even it out a little bit and just make it a little bit smoother of a transition. And I'm just going all the way up to my brow because I don't give a fuck. So I'm wearing this like greenish kind of shirt, so I thought I would use either the green or the bluish color. Go with the bluish color since that was like my go-to color beforehand. When I used to use the Comfort Zone before, I always put a base down before I use that blackish bluish brown color just to make it pop. So I'm just grabbing a little bit of my Hard Candy Glamouflage concealer in the color Ultra Light. I really like this concealer. It's $6 at Walmart. I think it's I think it's a good dupe to Urban Decay Naked Skin, and for $6 you can't fucking beat it compared to like $28 or some shit that is Urban Decay Naked Skin, and they're literally almost the same color, just this is a really thick formula compared to the Naked Skin, but I'm okay with that. I am going to take this color right here. It's like the bluish brown shifting color, and this is just a flat Luxie brush, and I'm just painting it across. Oh yes girl, and I'm actually going to show you the original one too so you can compare how this color, my favorite color, has, you know, changed or not changed. And just a quick side note, the Comfort Zone palette is listed as vegan, so that is awesome for all of our friends out there trying to use vegan friendly products or products that aren't tested on animals. Wet n Wild has been cruelty free, honestly. I don't know if it's been cruelty free from the get-go, but it's definitely been cruelty free for a long ass time. So there is a little bit of fallout with that one. Nothing too bad, but there is a little bit of fallout, and I'm just taking a little rag and I'm just wiping that product off on this brush. I'm going to use the same brush, and I'm going to use my original Comfort Zone palette and use the same bluish kind of color right down here. It does have a bigger pan in the original one than in the new one, but I rather have transition color than a bigger pan of this color, because for $5 you can always repurchase it, but having a transition color is like kind of annoying because I want to take this palette somewhere or I want to use it, I have to get out something else with it, the original one, you know. I feel like the original color actually has some more like green shift to it. It definitely looks more reflective than this one. So I'm gonna go over this one with the other one. Oh yeah, wow. So there is a bit of fallout here on my nose and then down here. So I'm just gonna take this brush that's probably dirty and brush it away. I'm gonna go back in with I'm gonna go with the new Comfort Zone palette, and this is a Luxie brush I was using before, and just dip into that transition, just a tad bit in there and do my under eye colors so they're a little bit even. This probably is not the right brush for this at all, but oh well. I wasn't really looking when I was doing that, but you know. I'm gonna use this little pencil brush and I'm gonna dip into this fucking color, whatever it is. It's like yellowy color. I'm putting that in the inner corner just because I want to try it out and see how it looked. Doesn't really go with my eye look, but fuck it. The eyeliner I'm going to use to do my like rim is not a Wet n Wild, but this is affordable. This is an Essence long lasting eyeliner in the color Black Fever, and I'm just gonna tight line my eye and not poke myself, and then do this one. Because for like $2.50 at Ulta, you can't fucking beat this eye pencil, I'm telling you. I am going to do a liquid eyeliner, and this is the Wet n Wild Mega Liner. This you can get anywhere they sell Wet n Wild. It's like $3 or $4. It has like a little felt tip. Are they even? Probably not. Are they even? Probably not, but who cares? My one complaint with this eyeliner, the Wet n Wild Mega Liner, is it is kind of hard to get that like nice point precision that you might be looking for. I like the eyeliner, that Wet n Wild one I've been using over some of my higher end ones lately because I just like it and it's easy. I haven't been doing like, it's not great for like the wing out, but if you want to just line your eyelid, I think it's fucking great. This is the Wet n Wild, I can't read it anymore, eye pencil in the color, I don't know because it wore off, taupe of the Carlin or something, I don't know, but it's a Wet n Wild pencil. Got it at Walgreens for 79 cents one morning because I realized I had no eyebrow pencil in my car, and I didn't want to go to work looking crazy. So we're just gonna shape out that brow real quick. So this Wet n Wild pencil is a little bit softer than other pencils I use, so I have to be like super light-handed or else it'll get like too, I don't want to say waxy, but just too much product and it's hard to like blend out. You don't have the most control to do like the end tail of your eyebrow, but I normally don't give a shit, so that's on there. This is the new Wet n Wild Photo Finish Matte finishing spray. They also have a regular one. This was their original setting spray. I like these because they're tiny. They're 1.5 fluid ounces. They're like $5. I like these because they're travel friendly. You can throw them in your bag traveling and they're pretty easy, and it's a really good setting spray. So we're gonna try the Photo Finish Fini Matte finishing spray. Ready, go. Okay, there's definitely alcohol in this because I can smell it. And it smells kind of like rubbing alcohol a little bit. I don't know, I like the way that kind of went on. It had like a fine mist. I'm going to use this new Megalast Liquid Cat Suit in the color Honey Glaze for my lips. Their liquid lipsticks are so nice. It's interesting. I'm not a huge fan of metallic liquid lipsticks. Put mascara on and then I need to fucking go. Literally that black on my face is gonna drive me fucking nuts, but I just can't be bothered with it. I'm going out to dinner with a friend and then I'll be back and see how it is. Alright, see you in a little bit. Bye. Okay, now I'm back and now I'm home. And it's 9:30 and I did my makeup at like 6 something. So it's been 3 hours, which really isn't a terrible amount of time. Check wear of makeup, but I will say a few things about the products I tried today. So usually when my makeup breaks down, it breaks down right in this area on my chin. Normally I get smile lines right here, especially the one on this side is like super bad. You can see it a little bit, but compared to like most days, it's not any different, better, or worse. My chin is not separating or breaking down the makeup that much, like the foundation, so that's good. Usually that happens to me around like hour 4, 5, or 6. It looks like my blush and everything is staying on really well. It still has the same kind of pigmentation I think it had in the first place. And my eyeshadow I think still looks bomb AF as it did 3 hours ago. I'm someone that I love an unnaturally matte face. Like I want my face to look like, I don't know, dried chalk or something. That's a terrible analogy. I want to look like a snail in the desert. How my face looks right now is pretty matte and I really am happy with it. When I try new products, I try to be pretty critical of them. I really like that primer. I want to use it throughout the week and hopefully really get a feel of it. I really like the setting spray too. Again, it's travel size, which I really like. Oh wait, I read the wrong side earlier. I said it was Fin Matte. Bitch, I was reading the fucking wrong side. I was reading the non-English side. I don't even know what language that is. Spanish? I don't know. But anyway, it's just the matte finish. What the fuck? I'm an idiot. what I have to say, final thoughts. I really like these. I really like that green color. I'm excited to try it out, and I really like that there's 2 mattes in there. Okay, goodbye. I'm seriously like the worst YouTuber. I don't know why anyone watches me. No one really does, but. A Blumpkin, it's where you're taking a poop and then someone gives you a BJ at the same time.
Blumpkin. Is that a bumpkin?
No, Blumpkin.
Like, oh hey, you doing a YouTube thing?
Yeah, you have to get in like on my shoulder.
What's up, gangsters?
There you go.
What do I look at the camera?
Yeah.
These smell like those little olives with the red centers.
I don't know, I don't eat shit like that.
You never had those? Smell them.
Hell no, I told you, they smell like Vicks Vapor Rub. They
No,
smell
I
like...
don't. No.
Yes, Zach even said that's what they smell like.
Zach's a yes man.
No, they literally... They smell exactly like Vicks Vapor Rub or like
Show YouTube
methanol.
Little Sonics.
You gotta pull them back. You gotta pull them back here.
My nails are so dirty.
Mine's in focus because you gotta pull it back, Alex. There you go. You got Knuckles, right?
Yeah.
I got Sonic. What's that one's name? Amy?
Amy?
What a boring name.
Yeah.
I knew.
Hi YouTube.